Hello and welcome to my second video for Bookmas. Hopefully this video has been edited and uploaded by the 2nd of December, but it's me, I'm chaotic, who knows what's going to happen. Before I get into this video, please ignore the mess. I think you can only see little bits of it. I'm messy. I'm a messy gal. So today I am bringing you the end of year book tag. And in true Beth chaotic fashion, I haven't read any of these questions. So I have no answers prepared. This could be a mess, but we're gonna do it anyway. So the first question is, are there any books that you started that you still need to finish by the end of the year? And this is an easy enough question to answer because yes, I'm currently reading 2 books, so I want to finish those by the end of the year. I am very comfortable with DNFing, so if I'm not enjoying these books, I won't read them. So the first one is the audiobook I'm currently listening to, and this is from Blood and Ash. And so far I'm really enjoying it, so I don't foresee any issues with getting this done before the end of the year. This is a fantasy romance. Hi, Editing Beth here. I had some issues with my editing software when trying to edit this video, and it's completely warped my description of From Blood and Ash. That being said, my explanation was almost incoherent anyway. All you really need to know is this is a fantasy romance about a girl called Poppy and a guy called Hunt. Poppy is the maiden, so she's like blessed by the gods, chosen by the gods, and she is waiting to have her ascension. I'm not quite sure what that is yet. And Hunt is going to become her bodyguard. There are some dangerous creatures which are currently attacking people, and I'm assuming Poppy is going to be involved in this somehow. I also started in a vlog I filmed like way back, The Nature of Witches, and I really enjoyed the first 50 pages of this book that I've read, but I haven't picked it up since. I do still want to finish this by the end of the year, but I just might not, because I just might not be in the mood to read it. But I would like to, because as I said, I did really enjoy what I read. It does feel like more of an autumnal or like a spring book than a winter book, so we'll see. But this book is set in a world where witches are responsible for controlling the weather. Each witch is aligned to a different season and has a different responsibility when it comes to like extreme weather systems. The main character of this book, whose name I forget, is aligned to all the seasons, so she is an Everwit, and that means she is especially strong. Now, in alignment to our own world, the humans, the non-magical folk, have destroyed the climate and the witches are struggling to maintain their control over extreme weather. So our main character should be strong enough to mitigate the effects of climate change and ensure that the witches are able to maintain a stable climate. However, she believes that her powers are evil and has hurt people in the past due to her inability to control them. As I said, what I read I really enjoyed. I actually really enjoyed the main character, which is quite rare for me. I like a deeply flawed, morally grey character, and I don't know if I would describe her as morally grey, but she's very flawed and she's making like some poor decisions. The next question is, do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? No. I'm jumping straight from horror to winter. I feel like good books for this would be dark academia type books, but I haven't read any of those in autumn, so no transitional books. The next question is there a new release that you're still waiting for? I don't think there's any new releases that I am waiting to be released, I don't think. I tend to pre-order my new releases early, so sometimes I forget about them and then they just arrive. The only thing that kind of fits this is a book that I am waiting to receive that is a relatively new release, which is Midnight in Everwood. That is going to come on Thursday. That was released in October, so it's not technically a new release, but kind of. This is a Nutcracker retelling that I am very excited to get to in December. If you want a full synopsis, you can watch my TBR video, but just to very briefly touch on it, this is a book about a girl who is a ballerina and finds herself transported to a magical world by a toy maker. And as I said, it's a retelling of the Nutcracker, so that should give you an idea. The next question is, what are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? I really should have read these questions before filming this tag. because I'm just gonna have to go back to my TBR because I only have 1 month left of the year. But the 3 books at the top of my TBR are Midnight in Everwood, Spinning Silver and Bear and the Nightingale. They are 3 books that I really want to get to. The next question is there a book you think could still shock you and become a favourite before the end of the year? So, I'm gonna call myself out here. I haven't been tracking my reading since, let's see, April. Yeah, I haven't tracked my reading since April. So I have no idea what books are going to be on my favourite book of the year. Because I have been reading since April, I just haven't been tracking it. Now, a lot of the books that I've read, I did actually read in ebook or audiobook format. So I should be able to go back and find those books and make a note of them. So I should be able to do favourite books of the year. But so far, I don't have any like crazy standout favourites. There are books that I definitely really enjoyed and I will talk about in my top books of the year. But there was definitely no like new favourite books. Like the year before, I read Piranesi and Crescent City and I absolutely like head over heels for those books. This year there was just nothing that like gave me that vibe. So I definitely think there is room for a top book. I also do think there's some contenders. So Blood and Ash could be top book of the year. I've heard good things about it. It's a genre that if it's done well, I absolutely adore. And also the 3 books that I mentioned, Midnight in Everwood, The Bear and the Nightingale and Spinning Silver. I think all 3 of those are contenders for top books of the year because they all have elements that I just go nuts for in a book. So I believe that they all kind of have that fairy tale vibe that just I love. And Naomi Novak, I just feel is going to be my favourite author. I think she's just going to be my favourite author of all time. So we will see. And the final question is, have you made or have you started to make any reading plans for next year? So I already know that next year is going to be different. So I don't have any plans in I want to read X amount of books because I really don't know what my reading is going to be like next year. But I do know that I want to try and read outside my comfort zone a little bit more. I want to try more high epic fantasy. It's a genre that I have like this love-hate relationship with because I love the story, but I hate reading them. I just hate like how info dumpy they can be. But I feel like if I read from the right author, I'll love it. I also want to try horror. I feel like horror is gonna be my favourite genre when I find the right niche. But I just can't find it and I just keep getting really underwhelmed. So I want to try more horror, like different types of horror, and find out what book it is that just makes me tick. So that's really the only reading plans I have, is to like just try and read a little bit outside of my comfort zone and just really like pin down what it is that I love as a reader. Really get to grips with my reading identity. That's my reading plan. And that is the end of the tag. I'm sorry this video was maybe a little bit all over the place. As I said, I didn't prepare. I will try and do better in the future. But if you have made it this far, thank you so much for watching this video. Please don't forget to like it and subscribe if you want to see more from me in the future. And let me know in the comments down below if you have any reading goals for 2022. And hopefully you will come back and see me in another video soon, tomorrow. Bye.